matemático americano Edward Lorenz disse que o bater de asas de uma borboleta na China pode desencadear um tornado no mundo ocidental meses depois. Desde que o mundo se tornou uma aldeia global e desde o desenvolvimento explosivo da economia chinesa, o crescimento global em crédito e do papel do dinheiro quente no sistema financeiro, todas as vibrações chinesas causam muita turbulência. Ou serão mais do que apenas vibrações?
Oceans of liquidity, artificial liquidity, I see storms coming.
Poderá uma economia chinesa fragilizada, juntamente com a incerteza do que a China realmente pensa e quer, anunciar uma catástrofe global? Poderemos estar a testemunhar as últimas convulsões do velho mundo familiar e o nascimento de uma nova ordem, produto da China?
Bijna elke patatzaak in Nederland wordt overgenomen door een Chinees. Merk jij wat van een cultuurverschil?
The great flaw in the Western attitude towards China is the assumption that it should be like us.
中国希望别人羡慕中国，希望别人尊重中国。哎呀，你看中国真好，你看中国人家怎么的。
Está a ver Backlight. Bem-vindos ao vosso futuro. Made in China. No final de 2015, num notável hotel londrino, um novo banco europeu foi apresentado ao mundo. O Banco Asiático de Investimento em Infraestrutura. Este banco foi inicialmente criado para financiar projetos de infraestruturas no Sudeste Asiático. Mas em pouco tempo passou a ser considerado como alternativa à ordem estabelecida pelo Fundo Monetário Internacional e pelo Banco Mundial. Estes controlaram as reservas internacionais do dinheiro durante décadas e moldaram a colaboração económica e desenvolvimento de acordo com os padrões e interesses ocidentais. Para grande irritação dos Estados Unidos da América, a Grã-Bretanha também aderiu a este novo banco chinês. De acordo com o observador na China, Martin Jacques, autor do livro When China Rules the World, isto foi um evento histórico.
2015 has been a historic year for Chinese-UK relations. And it started with a dramatic development that no one really foresaw, which was the decision of the UK to join the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. Until that moment, the 21 members were all from Asia. And then suddenly the UK joined, against the opposition of the United States, which had been lobbying hard against countries joining the AIB. Now that is really significant, because it reaches into the heart of the West, into the heart of the Western Alliance. I think what it means is that the rise of China is transforming the geometry of the world. It's unimaginable that in 10 years' time, the international financial system as we know it now will still be intact, because it won't. It will be new, and it will be drawn increasingly gravitationally towards China.
O homem responsável por este banco novo é Jin Lin-Quinn, ex-funcionário do Banco Mundial. É muito franco sobre o novo padrão de liderança no sistema internacional financeiro.
Over the last 3 decades, we managed to lift 600 million people out of poverty. We do not intend to have China's development experience fully replicated in other developing countries, but we believe this is inspiration. That's why we want to have this back.
I think that it's an introduction also of the way in which the Chinese see the transformation of their own society, because their understanding is this, quite simply, that really China was transformed by its economic growth. And crucial to this economic growth was infrastructure, huge investment in infrastructure. And their conception is that this is vital to the transformation of the developing world. I think they have a feel, they have a sense, a priority concerning the developing world, which is quite different from the way the West and the developed world looks at it.
However, we believe to have a new development approach to helping developing countries tackle poverty reduction, environmental protection, improving the livelihood of these people is key. And we would like to have a new development approach. That is why the Chinese leader wants to have this bank. That is why we want to have this bank to be managed by the highest possible international standard. But let me qualify this statement. When we say international best practice, I'm sorry, Martin, this is not the Western standard. The international best practice is not the Western standard. It's a standard Western countries, Asian countries, Latinos, we all work together to create. The international standard incorporates the best of experience, development experience over the last half century. And I'm proud to say China's development is a part of this experience. Maybe I should stop here so that you could have questions for me.
Martin Jakes viveu em Hong Kong muitos anos. Durante muito tempo questionou o número de suposições sobre os desenvolvimentos na China que, de acordo com ele, estão incorretas. Chegou o tempo de uma nova interpretação do futuro.
This is a different way of thinking too, you see. They know it's not their system. China doesn't bear the same relationship to the international system as the United States. The United States was the architect, the founder, the patron, the landlord. Yeah. Really, China's like the tenant. So the Chinese are not under any illusions about all this. You know, this is a world calibrated by and made in the first instance for the United States and also for Europe, especially historically Western Europe. So I think what their approach is and will be is step by step. If they identify a problem and a need, they will step forward and make a suggestion. They didn't used to step forward because for a long time they just kept quiet because they didn't want to upset the boat. They knew, you know, they didn't want to antagonize unnecessarily, and they were too preoccupied with dragging themselves up by their bootstraps, you know, out of poverty. So that was the Chinese preoccupation. Now they're in a different situation. They can start thinking, well, you know, about the world. You know, that's part of what the Chinese dream is about. What place are we going to occupy in the world?
The Chinese president launched a new international bank on Saturday in Beijing that's being seen as a rival to the US-led World Bank. US opposition has failed to deter its allies from signing up to the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, including Australia, Britain, Germany and South Korea.
The Chinese-inspired or Chinese-led or Chinese-shaped globalization is a new era that is unfolding before it.
O Banco Asiático de Investimento em Infraestrutura é parte de uma grande iniciativa chinesa, um cinto, uma rota. A China está a iniciar e a financiar grandes projetos de infraestruturas, com o objetivo de ligar um crescente número de países com a China no centro, quando a nova Rota da Seda for um facto. Esta nova rede começou com países na Ásia Oriental, mas em breve se expandiu para incluir o Paquistão, o Irão, a Rússia, a Turquia e um número de postos avançados europeus. O porto grego de Pireus é um deles. Em 2015, quando a Grécia entrou efetivamente na bancarrota e a Europa fazia cada vez mais exigências aos gregos, a China viu a sua oportunidade. A COSCO, uma empresa pública chinesa, assumiu o controle da maior parte do porto grego. É aqui que os contornos da Nova Ordem Mundial chinesa se tornam visíveis.
不计时。当我们逐步理解到他们的时候，我们就要向他们进行宣传。应该说，我们是从叫做不远万里之外的中国来到希腊，我们怀着有一颗想支持希腊建设、想促进希腊经济发展的一种愿望。
现在对面就是这个比较清闲一点的。
我们跟1号码头相比，我们有我们的优势。我刚才所讲的1号码头，他们仍然是制度上的问题。现在的希腊，在某个方面 就像中国改革开放前一样，要让我们希腊的这些员工感觉到我们中原人的一种正气，叫做正能量啊。所以我们的一言一行，我们体现了我们中国人的风范。
Very good， 评审点。OK。Finish。
There is a presumption that we are the model for everyone else, that everyone else should be like us. There is an assumption that as they develop and they modernize, they westernize. And of course, there is an element of truth in that, but the assumption that modernity only comes in one size and one form and it's a Western form is deeply flawed. It is wrong. We have been able to assume for the last 200 years that the world's furniture is ours. Why do so many people speak English? Why is the dollar, you know, or before that the pound, the world's currency? Why are the global institutions our institutions? IMF, World Bank. It's been our world, we've owned it. And we won't anymore. So the world is becoming, I don't need to say we will anymore, is becoming less and less Western and less, therefore, familiar to us. So we have to make a big shift in the way we think. We have to develop a new kind of respect for the other, for other cultures, for other ways of doing things. And this is going to be very difficult.
Na nova ordem do mundo, será importante entendermos a China. Como é que a China pensa? Como é que o país determina os seus objetivos? Em que se baseia a sua visão do futuro? Visitamos Yan Shutong, um estratega político na Universidade de Tsinghua, em Pequim. Ele estuda as formas pelas quais as escolas de pensamento tradicionais chinesas podem contribuir para as fundações de uma nova ordem na qual a China será líder.
So this is my book. I argue that China will become the superpower by
这个西方人呢，他们有这么一个认为，他们是经济决定论。某种程度上来讲呢，他们和马克思对问题的认识是一致的。他们是一种什么思想呢？说人啊是一个经济的动物，当人们的生活水平改善了以后呢，他们的这个思想观念呢就会发生变化。那当他们的生活的物质生活条件一样的时候呢，他们的思想想法会一样。这是他们认识中国的错误的根源，就是他们是个经济决定论者。他们不知道人是一个政治动物，人他对世界的认识，他不仅仅来源于他的物质生活，还要来源于他的社会生活。中国现在需要的是什么呢？中国希望重新挖掘中国古代的政治思想，比如我做的道义现实主义的理论研究，就是从先秦的政治思想开始的，去研究中国古代的外交思想，然后借鉴来发展现代的国际关系理论。那么我知道，在音乐、在医药、在许多行业里，在建筑很多行业都在走这条路。这个社会失去道德，拜金主义严重，导致了这个社会出现了人们崇拜金钱，不讲道义，没有道德。所以从这意义上来讲，我觉得我们确实从中国来讲，中国需要在一定程度上重新借鉴我们中国古代的政治思想来治理这个国家。然后我们从2004年开始，我们就开始重新读中国古代先秦的著作。
这人属于男子，碟子大，距5寸，25分寸，就这样。
没有，从这儿开始念，从这儿。
他是强调，在这一段里面就说要这个，治理国家一定要这个学这个，而且对于这个统治者来说要学这个。
哦，对于个人来讲，
对个人他没这个要求。
那他
你看
人不学
这个都是
不知道
对君子来说。
那人不学不知道。
我觉得这个都是对君子的要求，而且这一点我觉得也是这个古今不同的，就是所谓上智与下愚不移，就是有一部分人永远是下愚，但是对于这些人，这个要管理他们，这个没有说这些下愚这个也要学的。
之前的那种的，
就是都希望中国强大，强大到什么程度呢？就是用我们自己话，强大到我们的汉唐盛世。那么那个时候呢，中国不仅仅是它的自个儿经济水平，它的 GDP 的规模在世界上第一，而且它文化在世界上占有最优先的地位。所以当时呢，和周边国家进行贸易，取得了这个关系也有很好的发展，和周边国家关系也比较好。我的想法就是说，中国希望的中国梦，就是说要恢复中国当年曾经拥有的那种国际社会受人尊重的地位。一个世界能否向正确的方向发展，取决于这个领导国、这个主导国能否给世界提供一个正确的方向，然后促进他们向前发展。所以这样呢，就是说，如果把它说到我们生活里边更简单一句话，叫做“兵熊熊一个，将熊熊一窝”。也就是说，中国需要一个正确的、有能力的领导。
The role of government is very important in China. And now that is not new. That is not new. If you look at Chinese society since, 2,000 years, creation of the modern Chinese polity, and so on with the victory of the Qin dynasty, what grew up was a society in which the state was always very important. And its role was seen very different to Western society. The state was viewed in familial terms. Confucius' idea was that the emperor should model himself on the role of the father in the family, a benevolent father. If he was a bad father, he'd be a bad emperor. And so the Chinese view the state as, the ordinary people view the state as, quite paternalistic, but also in a sort of familial way. Whereas we don't in the West, we think of the state as, the government as being alien, as out there and basically, almost in transactional market terms. It either delivers or it doesn't deliver. And I think that, the Confucian values are absolutely fundamental to the way in which Chinese society works. Think of 2,000 years ago. This is a very, very long tradition.
Então, inspirando-se nas ambições futebolísticas do pai ou dos grandes líderes, há milhares de empresários chineses prontos a conquistar essa ambição. Um deles é Wang Hui, investidor e dono de uma empresa de marketing desportivo com 300 milhões de adeptos de futebol. Rapidamente se tornou o dono do ADO Den Haag, um clube de futebol da Primeira Liga holandesa. E desde o início que tinha grandes planos.
如果说有一天的话呢，在提到国际上呢，在提到荷兰足球的时候，首先想到的是提到的是荷甲，是荷甲当中的是提到我们海牙，提到的阿斗，那我想我们就。
No entanto, ano mais tarde, o entusiasmo desapareceu. As promessas foram desfeitas e ninguém parece saber o que Wang planeia ou não fazer.
其实我觉得在海牙来讲的话呢，因为海牙俱乐部阿斗已经是110多年的历史了，它已经发展的很健康，或者已经是很模式化了，就是它固定的这个思路了。那要是说呢，要想让它有新的突破的话，有更大的提高的话，我觉得一定要是改变一个模式，就是这个思想的模式要改变。那也就是说要给它带来变化。所谓的变化，那么我们面对的是哪儿呢？除了它本身成绩的提高， 那么它这个价值的提升，还有它这个知名度的提升等等的，那我觉得应该是面向的中国市场。
O antigo dono do ADO, Mark van der Kallen, vendeu o clube a Wang. Martin Fontaine era o diretor do clube no momento do negócio. Agora, ambos observam diferenças enormes que não são tão fáceis de ultrapassar como se esperava.
Het was heel duidelijk toen ik in januari vorig jaar was bij het bedrijf United Fence. Dan zit je daar te wachten. Nou, dan ben ik gewend in China, zit je altijd te wachten. En dan zitten de mensen daar te wachten tot de baas binnenkomt. En de baas gaat zitten in het midden. En er zitten 4 mensen links en 4 mensen rechts. En die zijn alleen maar alles aan het schrijven. En hij is de enige die het woord doet. En dat is heel anders. Wij zijn natuurlijk toch gewend gedelegeerde verantwoordelijkheid.
Ja, uiteindelijk is het in de directie en de raad van commissarissen die daar succesvol mee om moet gaan. Hè. Dus of ik daar nou zit of meneer Wang, dat maakt aan zich eigenlijk niks uit, hè, voor het beleid van de club. Alleen, ja, meneer Wang heeft natuurlijk wel allemaal verwachtingen gewekt. Door te zeggen, ja, we gaan Europees spelen, ik ga investeren. Nou, dat heeft hij natuurlijk wel op zich afgeroepen. En daar gaat nu een beetje discussie over.
Hij wilde ook opeens dat er weer natuurgas kwam. Dat moest maar binnen een half jaar komen. Of er moesten 20 trainers van de jeugdopleiding moesten binnen 2 maanden naar China. Ja, dat werkt zo niet. En, dat zijn natuurlijk de lessen. Net zoals je hebt een begroting voor de KNVB. Daar moet je aan voldoen, en anders raak je licentie kwijt. Het is niet zo, ja, ik ben eigenaar, dus ik doe wat ik wil. En dat zijn toch hele belangrijke lessen die hij moet hebben geleerd.
其实呢，你比如说这个比较典型的一个这个例子哈，就是说双方的交往的时候呢，就是按照中国人习惯吧，比如我们在讨论一些事情的时候哈，可能呢大家会这个讨论的时候是一种情况，比如说呢，哎，有些事情行，这事情可以做好，咱们去做，但是呢，真正要做的时候呢，还离这个真正要做还是有一个过程的，但是在荷兰好像不是。就是你说做好了，行了，这就得做了，就是这样子。这个差距就我觉得就是非常非常的明显哈。我觉得呢，这就是让我感觉区别就很大了。因为呢，在中国的话呢，不会是这样子，就是所有的事情来讲的话呢，尤其是大的事情来讲的话，大家是一个这个鱼和水的关系，是鱼和水的关系，互相呢是依靠。但是呢，真正的决策的话，因为什么呢？因为毕竟是老板是投资人。
Het is een complexe situatie. Als jij door een vreemde geldschieter in een andere cultuur een club gaat runnen. Een voetbalclub. Want wij doen zaken met 456 Chinese bedrijven in Nederland. Kruidvat is in Chinese handen. Meneer Li Ka-shing die zal zich nooit met het kruidvat bemoeien. Ik bedoel, daar zit Nederlands management. En zo hoort het ook. Je moet je aanpassen aan de cultuur.
Mag ik toen nog vroegen? Ik had zelf ook wel het idee, toen we de transactie aangingen, dat Wang veel internationaler is dan een Chinees. En ik denk ook eigenlijk dat hij dat wel is. Want zijn vrouw, heb ik begrepen, dacht ik, ze hebben lang in Canada gewoond, gestudeerd. En dus ja, het is ook wel, ze doen zich af en toe ook wel een beetje naïef voor. Ja. Terwijl ze veel beter weten hoe de wereld in elkaar zit misschien dan wij denken.
Ja, dat is interessant, want dan is er een andere agenda.
Nou ja, Maarten gaf er net wat over aan. Hè. Kijk, toen we de gesprekken voerden, dachten we in eerste instantie, we hebben met meneer Wang te maken als directeur van United Fence. En in onze cultuur is het daarmee ook eigenlijk klaar. En successieflijk zijn we de maanden daarna, wat Maarten ook aan refereerde, ja, kreeg ik ook wel 100% bevestigd is dat niet. Maar vandaag denk ik ook, hij kan het niet alleen beslissen. Hij heeft gewoon met andere mensen in China te maken. Daar werkt het dan blijkbaar zo dat voordat er weer een volgende stap gezet wordt, hij wel degelijk moet overleggen, wellicht met aandeelhouders, dan toch. Waarbij wij misschien denken, joh, jij bent directeur van het bedrijf, dus jij kan dat vertegenwoordigen. Maar daar werkt het dus anders.
但是更让我心里觉得不舒服的是什么呢？就是说，我怎么汇钱的话，我汇多少钱，我什么时间汇，我自己的事儿啊，不是你的事儿啊，跟你有什么关系啊？对不对？你不光是跟管理层没有关系，那我告诉你我什么时候汇，那你就按照这个去给我做计划就行了。底下人我要跟你说吗？或者其他人我要跟你说没无关的，我跟你说，哎，告诉你我要汇钱啊，我要汇多少钱去？为什么要告诉你啊？那是我的钱呢。俱乐部又是我们的俱乐部，是我们投资的俱乐部啊。那怎么做的话呢？我干嘛要跟你说呀？所以我觉得这就很奇怪，这就是又是一个文化差异的问题。在中国的话，没有人这个 care 你这些东西的，没有任何东西，就是你去管这个的，你还倒是那什么了。你不能到外面去说你老板不好。
bijna elke patatzaak in Nederland wordt overgenomen door een Chinees. Merk jij wat van een cultuurverschil? Je kent nog steeds je patatjeoorlog kopen.
Ik kon niet traceren wat die Chinees nou met aarde moest. En dat ken ik nog steeds niet.
Het viel wel op in het begin bij de supporters. Er was wel enthousiasme.
Ja, maar ja, dat is logisch. Je speelt altijd rond de 14e, 15e plaats. Je speelt eigenlijk voor handhaving elk jaar. En dan komt er iemand binnen en die zegt van... wij gaan binnen 3 jaar gaan we die linkerkant bestormen en dan gaan we Europees voetbal halen. Ja, nou ja, dan als supporters zijn, dan word je daar vrolijk van. We hebben hem heel lang de hand boven het hoofd gehouden. De hele tijd van, nou ja, cultureel verschilletje en dit en dat. Ja, tot zeg maar 18 december, dat de laatste deadline weer verliep. Toen 5 januari, toen was het over.
Ja, maar dat wil ik gelijk op inhaken. Dat woordje wat jij zegt, dat woordje cultuurverschil... Daar maak ik me constant kwaad om, weet je. Het woordje cultuurverschil, dat is absoluut het meest misbruikte woord in 2015 geweest. Maar meneer Wang deed dat ook. En aan alle kanten werd er gezegd, ja, maar jongens, China en Nederland is cultuurverschil. Wat de fuck is cultuurverschil? Je komt hier, je koopt hier een club, je verrampeneert die club. En dan gaat onze algeheel directeur, Jan-Willem Wicht, die het in mijn ogen fantastisch doet, die moet iets naar buiten brengen. Want die man die moet een keer iets naar buiten brengen. En dan zeggen ze, hij heeft hem beledigd. Hij heeft hem beledigd? Wat moet die man dan? Moet die man gaan zwijgen als het graf? En dan zeggen ze, ja, maar het is cultuurverschil, jongens. Dat kennen ze daar niet. Dat is een belediging van een Chinees. Jongens, een belediging is dat als je gewoon je centjes belooft over te maken, dan fucking pay dat geld. Dan is je belooft iets, leg dat dan neer. Dan breng je andere mensen niet in de problemen. En daar wordt iedere keer maar weer het woordje wat jij gebruikt, het woordje cultuurverschil, daar ben ik echt helemaal klaar mee.
Ja, zoals we verleden jaar in Nederland naar de Griek gingen, gaan we nu hier in de regio Den Haag naar de Chinees. Ja, dat we bij de Griek waren van, nou betaal niet, want we hebben al genoeg naar je gegeven. Ja. Precies, zo ging het, hè, als je gyros ging ophalen. Maar zo gaan we nu naar de Chinees. Maar het is wel een lolletje, je betaalt ook wel gewoon, maar dat is voor die mensen, die eer is daar heel belangrijk.
Hoe gaat het met je zus? Ben je met de poppies of ben je met de bus?
I mean, I think balance is very important in the way the Chinese think. I suppose there's a greater recognition of the complexity of life as a result, you know, and that therefore, you know, bad things go wrong and so on. Having said that, remember that the Chinese have a much more positive view of human nature than we do, you know, because in the Christian tradition, you know, we need to be saved from ourselves, from our sins. The Chinese don't have that view. The Chinese view is that, you know, if you are brought up in the right kind of way, your parents, you're subject to good parenting and good influences and good education, you can be a good person. So it's a much more positive philosophy than the Christian tradition.
它和基督教的就儒家的学说和基督教学说有个不一样的地方。基督教有一个 mission， 它有一个使命，它总是要把别的人不信基督教的人变成信基督教，把和自己生活方式不一样的人变成用自己的生活方式来生活。中国不是，正好相反。美国的为什么我们中国认为美国的政策叫霸权主义呢？它是霸道，不是王道，就在于美国是对外输出自己的价值观，就是说，比如说我说去解放利比亚，解放伊拉克。他认为伊拉克的政治制度和意识形态跟我不一样，我把你们解放了，让你们跟我们一样，这是从儒家思想讲，这是很错误的一个的。儒家讲的是叫做来而不拒，不枉教之，就你要跟我学，我教你；你要不跟我学，我绝不会去你那儿来派军队去改造你，这是错误的。霸权主义就是用暴力来改变别人的思想和制度。而中国的传统观念里边讲道义是不能去改变别人，这是区别。美国就是太希望把别的国家变得跟美国一样。
In the long run, of course, the international system will be utterly transformed by the rise of China. Utterly transformed. It is inconceivable that this will not happen. The fact is that since the financial crisis, the global economy has been extremely dependent on the performance of the Chinese economy, much more dependent on the Chinese economy than the American economy, much greater contributor to global growth than the American economy has been nearly stagnant. The Chinese economy has carried on growing. And I think that that this is sort of in some way recognized now by the reaction, the concern in the West about the health of the Chinese economy.
Há sem dúvida preocupação. Depois de décadas de crescimento quase alucinante, a atmosfera mudou no fim do verão de 2015. De forma totalmente inesperada, o Banco Central Chinês anunciou a desvalorização da moeda chinesa, o RMB. Até esse momento, estava fixado ao dólar. Agora as pessoas perderam a fé na sustentabilidade da economia global, o que causou pânico na bolsa e nos mercados monetários. Antes da crise financeira de 2008, o investidor Jim Rogers mudou para Singapura para estar perto das montanhas douradas da China. Na sua opinião, quais seriam as consequências de uma crise chinesa?
The Chinese currency has been the strongest currency in the world for the past 10 years. Now, China has its own problems, too. In 2008, when the world had a problem, China had huge amounts of money saved up for a rainy day. It started raining, they started spending. But now China, too, has debt. China's built up a fair amount of debt here in the past 8 years, which they never had before for historic reasons. So China's going to be in more difficulty this time around than before.
Okay. So what caused this debt of China?
Well, partly when the world got into trouble and the Chinese government started spending money, they encouraged all the provinces and companies to spend money as well. And so they went out and started borrowing money. That now there's a market in China for lending, much more than it ever was before, at the banks and outside the banks. We are facing worse times than we had in 2008 because the debt is so much higher now, and the money printing has been staggering since then. The central bank in the United States in 2008 had a balance sheet of $800 million US. Now it has nearly $5 trillion. It's gone up over 500%, 600% in those 7 or 8 years. That is a lot of debt. The U.S. government debt is up by trillions since then. Europe, you talk about austerity. No country in Europe has lower debt now than it had in 2008 or even last year. Every European country has higher debt this year than last year, and next year the debt's going to be higher again. So no, we've got staggering amounts of debt now. Staggering amounts of money have been printed. It's going to be worse next time around. Be worried.
And so we don't have China to save us this time.
Well, China is in better shape than most of us, but China, too, has debt now. China's built up its own debt. Nothing like the U.S., nothing like some of the European countries, nothing like Great Britain, but China, too, has debt now.
I don't like it.
You shouldn't like it. I don't like it either. Let me say again, you should be knowledgeable, you should be worried, and you should be prepared. I don't like it at all. You know, I'd like to just be able to look out the window and say, oh, things are great. I don't have to think and worry about anything. But now I look out the window and I see artificial oceans of liquidity, artificial liquidity. I see storms coming.
A tempestade global prevista por Jim Rogers já está a criar o caos na América. Mas qual é exatamente a ligação entre a política financeira chinesa e o pânico no Ocidente? De acordo com o investidor Peter Schiff, os chineses jogam um jogo que levará a um sistema monetário diferente, no qual o dólar já não terá liderança.
I don't think it was the Chinese devaluation that caused it. In fact, markets were falling before the Chinese did that. It is why they did it. It's because the world is bracing for higher interest rates in the United States and for the strong dollar to continue to strengthen. And that's what put all the pressure on the Chinese currency, because the Chinese RMB has been rising in value along with the dollar relative to all of the currencies of its trading partners. And so the Chinese are now trying to allow their currency to trade more freely with other currencies instead of being rigidly fixed to the dollar.
Peter Schiff pensa que a América irá atribuir as culpas dos seus próprios problemas económicos à China. Prevê uma batalha entre duas superpotências económicas, na qual está em jogo a supremacia da moeda.
Well, I think the Chinese realize the extent to which the United States is in trouble. I mean, they have to. And the question is, how do the Chinese go about preparing for it? I mean, it's always puzzled me that the Chinese would have enabled this to go on for so long. I mean, look how many dollars they've accumulated. I mean, we owe them trillions. And obviously, that can't go on forever. And it's only going on now because people haven't come to that conclusion. They still think America is good for its debts. When they figure out that it's not, it's a game changer. And I think the dollar is ultimately going to collapse. And when that happens, the Chinese RMB is going to take off. I think this is a head fake move with the Chinese currency going down. The real move is going to be upwards. And, you know, this is a two-edged sword. Yes, the Chinese are allowing their currency to fall now, but that means they're preparing to allow it to rise once the dollar turns direction. And if the Chinese are no longer there to prop up the dollar, the next time it falls, it's not going to stop.
And that's imminent.
Yes, and I think the Chinese understand this, and I think the Chinese are preparing for a post-U.S. dollar reserve currency world. I think that's one of the reasons that they've been buying up so much gold. You know, the Chinese are the world's largest producers of gold, but they don't export any of it. They actually import gold. And I think the government has been less than honest about how much gold they actually own, because I don't think they want the markets to realize how large their appetite is. And I do believe that over the last few years, as so many speculators have been selling gold on the anticipation of this strong dollar and rising interest rates, I think the Chinese have been quietly buying. Well, I think that's going to be a positive development. I think the monetary system we have now does not work. I mean, you can't really have a monetary system without money, and that's what we have. We just have a little piece of paper, but there's no intrinsic value there. I mean, gold is money because gold is a commodity. I mean, money needs to be a commodity. It has to have value. It can't just be a piece of paper that governments can create out of thin air because there's no limit to how much they can create. And you have no idea what the supply is going to be in the future. So I think the sooner we can get off the system that we're on now, the better.
The international financial system is now in many ways very flawed. We know that, and we know it's unstable, and we know we could hit another financial crisis, and we know it's far too dependent on the dollar as a reserve currency and so on. New institutions will arise according to circumstances, because ultimately it's about what the global economy requires, what it needs, what kind of financial reform is appropriate. The IMF and the World Bank will be increasingly marginal. The AIIB has more capital than the World Bank.
Yeah, and they're a startup.
Or they're a startup, yeah.
So the US and Japan have stayed out so far. What do you think about that? Have they been very foolish?
I'm sorry, you should pick your words more carefully.
No, that's your job, not mine.
No, I never said they are foolish. I understand it might be difficult for some countries, for whatever reason, to make a decision to join. So my idea is very clear. The door keeps open for any country to join as long as they accept the Articles of Agreement, which was worked out by the 57 founding members. However, Martin, I hope you won't think I'm not good enough or not nice enough. It's unfair for me to invite you to my party tonight again and again, and you reject again and again. That's not fair.
中国提出要改革 IMF 这个机构，中国要求增加在国际货币基金中间的这个投票权，中国要求人民币加入 SDR 这个特别提款权，结果呢遭到了美国的抵制，所以他不让中国进行这些金融改革，中国没有办法，只好设立一些个金融机构，是金砖银行、亚投行 AIB， 然后什么这个上合组织银行， 然后和中国和东欧的这个合作基金，是因为中国想加入的那个国际体系的机构里边进行改革的时候，被美国阻止了，中国没办法，只好重新再建立。简单的讲 ，AIB 的名称是什么呀？叫亚洲基础设施投资银行。一开始这个建议就没有超越这个地区，就是说在东亚地区搞基础设施。它怎么变成一个全球性机构呢？是因为英国、德国、法国、澳大利亚、加拿大，是因为他们的加入，它变成了一个全球性的。这不是中国要让它变成这样，是这些国家把它变成全球性的。然后又说是中国要搞全球的。
So you just said they are preparing for a post-dollar monetary system. What is that going to look like, and what is China's interest?
I think the Chinese would have been better off had they not made this mistake, had they not pegged their currency to the dollar, and had they simply allowed their currency to appreciate. And there's no reason for the dollar to be the reserve currency. In fact, the dollar being the reserve currency is a source of financial instability throughout the world because the entire world is forced to support the United States. And it's a very expensive habit. And the fact that the dollar is so overvalued distorts decisions, it distorts capital flows. And as I said, it is the main source of financial problems and instability throughout the world. I mean, in order for China to keep its relationship with the dollar, they had to keep expanding their own money supply. They had to keep interest rates too low. They had to keep printing money. So all of this distorts the economy. But the main difference between China and the United States is China's economy is still viable. China has an enormous industrial capacity. China has all sorts of production. And so when this collapse happens, the difference between America and China is still going to have all the factories, and they're going to have all the production. What's going to change is their consumers. Chinese citizens are going to have all the goods that these factories produce. America is going to have to go without that. We're just going to have the money we print. But what good is that? I mean, money doesn't have any value if you can't buy anything with it. The sooner the world gets off this dollar standard, the better off the world is going to be.
E então passaremos à inevitável ordem mundial chinesa. Uma ordem com contornos definidos. Em vez de reforçar a supremacia, ganha-se admiração e todos quererão ser como nós.
那中国的安排什么呢？中国希望别人羡慕中国，希望别人尊重中国。哎呀，你看中国真好，你看中国人家怎么的？中国希望被别人尊重，被别人羡慕，被别人欣赏。他只不过就是西方比中国强大，他认为西方比我们文明。当他比别人强大的时候，他又调过来说：“你看，我比你文明。”就是应该所有的人都应该向什么成功者学习，学习成功者优秀的地方，然后改进自己，使自己成为一个成功者。欧洲现在面临的问题就在这儿。如果欧洲继续认为自己是世界上最优秀的，而不看到自己欧洲现在开始走向衰落，那么欧洲只会衰落速度更快，而不会逆转。欧洲人呢，就是比较喜欢报复，这是跟儒家文化很不同的一点，是吧？就是特别就是我要报复。我要用军事手段，要报仇，就是报仇的心理，在欧洲文化中间，比中国文化中间有严重的多，是吧？欧洲的这个莎士比亚写的那些剧里，很多都是复仇剧，欧洲的很多小说都是复仇的小说，是吧？什么基督山伯爵的那些小说，就是复仇是人一种天生的一种心理，而中国传统文化是说，这种复仇的心理应该得到压制。所以，就如果你说中国对欧洲有什么借鉴，就中国就说，欧洲不要有太强烈的报仇心理。
China historically has had and culturally very different way of looking at its relationship with the world. I think what we'll see is a world in which China exercises far more economic power than the United States ever has, even at its peak. But it won't be a political. It won't interfere in the governance of other countries in the way in which the Western tradition has. And that era that we've lived through has been, in my view, an extremely authoritarian and undemocratic world system. And the great change that's happening now is that with the rise of the developing world, where 85% of the world's population lives, they increasingly are being enfranchised, acquiring a voice, acquiring a say in the future of the world. So in a rough and ready way, this is something to be hugely embraced. We are moving towards a world which is no longer essentially ruled by a tiny minority of human population, as increasingly the majority of the world's population will be, as it were, in some way or other, running it.
火车已经进车站，我的心里有悲伤，汽笛声音已渐渐响，心爱。